Welcome back to the channel, I hope you're all doing well, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build this awesome wizard tower in LEGO Fortnite. Now it's a great structure with a lot of character and it will definitely enhance and improve your base / village. Be sure to subscribe, like and share this video as it really does help out, and also don't forget to join my Discord. So let's get into the build. Start by placing down a blueprint structure. The castle is the best here because it's the biggest, but if you don't have that option, just place anything that's relatively big. We can add foundations later. What you want to do next is use a pickaxe to break the foundations until the veins pop up and the blueprint can no longer continue to be built. And then we'll place our own foundations down. And all you want to do here is build a big square. If you need any advice or tips and tricks when it comes to building on LEGO Fortnite, click the video link at the top right, it's full of good information. Now that we got our square, what we need to do next is add ancient corners in the four corners of our foundation. Now be sure to nudge them into position and line them up perfectly. And then we will use a mix of ancient slanted walls to fill the gaps. We're going to use an ancient door as our entrance because it will fit in with the aesthetic. Now a good way to put the door down perfectly in the middle is to put ancient slanted walls down first, and then you can just start adjusting and lining it up. So I'm interested. What do you guys like most about LEGO Fortnite? Now there's a few things that I do like about it. Well, I say a few things, there's a lot of things. I think it's a brilliant game, but there's a lot that it lacks and needs to be changed. For me, the biggest thing is no replay mode. You can't really get good cinematic shots when you're playing this game or do like time-lapse builds, because obviously Fortnite and Zero builds, they all have the replay mode, but we don't in LEGO Fortnite. That needs to happen. Obviously, more content needs to come to the game, like we need more variation. 1x1 blocks would be great. I feel like they haven't done that because they don't want to, look like they're copying Minecraft too much, but it definitely needs to happen. And another thing is first person mode. I'd love to be able to go into first person mode to be able to build, because at the moment, third person's okay, but first person would really help. But apart from that, the game's brilliant. It needs a lot more work, but Epic being Epic, I'm hoping that they will start throwing content at this game because it seems to be quite popular. But as I said in the question, what do you like most about LEGO Fortnite and what do you dislike? What are your grievances with the game? Because I'll be interested to see what everyone else thinks about it, basically, because a lot of you have been commenting on my previous videos of stuff that you don't like about the game. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm curious. Right, now that that's done, that's a nice little starting shape, isn't it? It looks really good. Good foundation. Looking good so far. Next we'll use castle stairs as a way to get up to the entrance of your wizard tower. Now obviously if you've put the door on a side that doesn't require stairs, no need to do it. So next we'll use castle corbels and castle corbel corners above the slanted walls because they just look awesome, and this will help us when building up to give the structure, you don't want it looking flat and going straight up with no definition, no depth, no character, and this really helps with that. And yeah, the castle corbels look fantastic. Now you don't want to use the big one, you want to use the number 1 variant because it's smaller, and above that we are going to place windows so it'll all fit in together nicely. So just use number 1, don't use number 2. Now if you get an issue where, so as you can see, all my castle corbels are lining up perfectly because of the way I've built this this foundation, the square base. If it doesn't line up perfectly, just extend the base a bit. See what I mean about the castle corbels? It just really sets the base off. It looks fantastic. So next what we're going to do is put castle half wall 3 above the corbels that we've just placed down. Now when you do this, you essentially want to line it up perfectly, so you do a bit of nudging and alignment, and then you want a block that is in the middle of these castle half walls and it will all line up perfectly, and you just build it up to the corbel corner and then continue down the side again, just like so. So we'll start on this side now, and we've still got the corner that we can use for other bits of the structure that we're going to be doing a little bit later. Right, so now we're going to place castle corbel corners above the castle corbel corners we put down earlier. So this is really going to help, and it just marries up all the structure together. And like I said earlier, we're going to be adding windows to this, so we're going to use castle window 1, and this will finish off this entire wall. So just line it up with the half walls that we put down earlier, again going right up to the corner. You don't need to build it on the corner, and if you've lined everything up perfectly, it will just touch the corner. And there we go, sorted. So we're going to go to the fences now, and we're going to use the castle railing, but it'll be the corner variant, and we're just going to place that on the corbels, and that will finish that bit off. You can add it to the corbel underneath if you want. I never did because I wanted to keep it a bit different, you know, a bit of variance between the way they look. I didn't want it all looking samey. And that's that bit done. It's looking really good so far though. So inside of those castle railings, we're going to put some white pillars. You don't have to do this. It's just something I did, again, just for variance. I think it looks cool, but you can leave them empty and just block it off with like a normal castle corner. Okay, so we're back to the ancient slanted walls again. So exactly the same as we did on the first layer. You just want to line it up, nudge it, get it all aligned perfectly, and just go all the way around with castle slanted walls with ancient slanted walls. Again, you're going to have to use a mix here because it won't always line up perfectly, so you'll have to use like the really thin variants or the thicker variants. The easiest way to do it is start with the biggest variant, the thickest one, and then go right down to the thinnest one, and then you'll be able to fill all the gaps. So at the front and rear of the base, I'm going to add 4 carved walls. So 2 at the front where the entrance is, and 2 at the back. Just adds more character to the base. Really cool looking. And there we go. That is looking awesome so far. I'm really happy with how this base is turning out. Right, so now we're going to be adding ancient corners. So again, to keep the base not looking samey, we're going to go for more variation. So we're going to add ancient corners, and then above the log support pillars we've put down, we're going to put some more archways. However, we're going to use the thinner variant, and what we need to do here is line it up, because we're going to be using the ancient corners, but not the corners you're thinking of. It's actually they should just be called ancient pillars, because it is a pillar, but it's the corners. It's a very thin wall variant, and what this will do is fill all the gaps between the archways. Now, because of the shape of this base, these archways are not actually going to line up perfectly on the pillar. You can nudge it so it lines up perfectly, but there's a gap which is one, like, block. I think it's not really a block though, it's like a Lego brick. Because things are not in 1x1 on this game like they are in Minecraft, it's really hard to measure it up essentially. But if you nudge it to the center of the log pillar, there is a super thin gap either side, which is like one Lego brick essentially, and there is no object in this game that can fill that gap. There is nothing that thin. It has to be almost paper thin. So you have to have the archways completely off center and, you know, touching the side of the log pillar, and then the other side of it is like in the middle of the log pillar. If you try and use bigger archways, it looks a bit silly because it then goes over the log support. So you'll have to play with this. I mean, it's something I need to work on as well. I'm going to go back and have a look, but this is the best way around it so far. However, the other option is, if you don't want to use these thin archways, is use just a normal castle window. So your preference, your choice, what you want to do. But so far so good. It's looking brilliant. I'm loving the shape of this base. So next, in each of the corners up the top, we're going to place castle corners, or, you know, pillars. Now, one thing I hate about this game as well, another thing that I dislike, is when you're creating a world, especially in creative, because I'm not playing survival when I'm doing this build, you cannot set the day and the weather to just stay daytime all the time and clear weather. Like, that annoys me as well. Like, that's an option Epic need to add in, because I find myself logging in and out when it gets dark or rainy like this, just to come back so it's clear day again. So this next step, all we're doing is lining up flooring with the pillars that we've just put down. You don't actually need to do this. It just makes adding the ancient slanted walls to, you know, above the pillars a lot easier, but this is like a preference thing. So you don't have to do this, but it makes this part easier. So we'll be putting corners down again. Now, as you can see with the flooring there, it's easier to put the slanted walls down, but you can do it without the pillars. Without the flooring. It just requires a lot of nudging, and it can just be finicky. So sometimes it's just easier, put the floor down and do it this way. So yeah, we're going to be adding ancient castle corners, or ancient corners, just like we did down below, and we're going to be filling those gaps again. Now this is going to be the heading to the top of the build now. So I've blocked it off with the flooring. I will keep the floor there because there's no way up. Again, coming back to something else that this game needs: ladders. It needs ladders. It shouldn't just be stairs. Ladders would make a lot of these base builds so much easier to navigate and give you more options to build, because obviously at the moment you got to rely on stairs to get up and down your bases, which require a lot of room. Now we're going to go ahead and add another layer of ancient corners and ancient slanted walls, and this will be the top of the roof. What I will use for the very top is some castle fences to give it some spikes at the top and just fill the gap so it's not just, you know, a square block at the top. Now, obviously where the castle pillars are, or the castle corners, underneath this, there's that massive open gap. That can be another level for your base. Obviously build some stairs to get up there, and you know, you can have it as like an overlook, you know, we can look out and stuff, a bit like a watchtower. Now, in terms of building stairs for this base, I'll show you what I've done at the end of this video. However, I'm going to leave it up to you of what you want to do, because there's loads of different ways to build stairs in this game. There's, you know, multiple ways. I wish it had ladders, but sadly it doesn't. So I used a mix of castle stairs, the castle stairs with the floor attached to it, and I also used ancient stairs because what I've done is I've had uneven room heights in this base. So some of my rooms are quite big, some of the levels I've put the flooring down to make the ceiling quite sort of small, so it's not so much as a big room, you know. So some of them are open and massive, some of them are quite small, but there's so much room in this space for bedrooms. If you want to do some interior design, you can put loads of beds down, loads of storage. Honestly, there's so much room in this space. But I'm going to show you at the end of this video exactly how much room you're going to be able to like have in this space, and also with what stairs and stuff that I used. Okay, so let's go and have a look inside. So I haven't done anything too amazing inside, but yeah, look how big and open this room is. So I could have made the ceiling a lot smaller, but I didn't. So I've added stairs leading up to this level, walled off all the windows with railings just to give it a bit more character. Here we got some ancient stairs. So this is another level, and again, you can go up even further. I just chose not to. But this is what I was on about rooms being big and some not being as big. But let me know in the comments what you think about this base, guys. Do you like it? Are you going to build it? And what do you want to see next? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and join my Discord. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.